you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
This year we're going to grab the bull by the balls and kick those punks off campus.
Well, looks like the cows have come home to roost.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Entertainment.ie movie show. This week we have competition for the premiere of Murder on the Orient Express, which is in Dublin City Centre next Thursday, and we also have some goodies, we believe, from the film. I don't know what's in them, but we're sure it's pretty cool. Those goodie bags are always deadly. We've also got an interview with Gerard Butler, and for Geostorm, and Dee caught up with the director of Thor.
Yes.
So we're going to play the Gerard Butler interview right now and see how Ciara King from 2FM got on with him, and then we're going to come back, we're going to talk Thor. Okay, I mean, Gerard Butler seems like a nice chap. Ciara always does an amazing job interviewing people, interviewing these movie stars. And she got on so well with James McAvoy. They seem to have a genuine connection. Mm-hmm. You know, it's hard not to be disappointed when she doesn't have the same chemistry with Gerard Butler. But sometimes it just doesn't work. You know, that's how it goes with the movie stars, Brian.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, you know, maybe the fact that the film is on track to lose 100 million at the box office, and he's a producer on it. I mean, that's got to be...
It was wrapped a couple of years ago, didn't it?
Like 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And then they had to bring in Danny Cannon, who people will remember from Judge Dredd.
People won't remember from.
But like
Goal! Remember that film, Goal?
Goal 2. And now he's doing TV work, which is always a bad sign. But
he's kind of co-created CSI, I think.
Yeah, CSI and Gotham. With him, yeah. But yeah, he was brought on then to film it, and then it just... God knows.
Yep. And all, and anyways, we're going to talk, I suppose, before we talk Thor, we'll leave Thor to the end and we'll play out the interview then at the end of it. I think the one you've seen is Breathe, which was kind of seen Andrew Garfield, was seen as some of an Oscar contender, but the reviews aren't quite there in terms of, it's like 50-something% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one. I think, you know what it is? I think it's a genre that'll either kind of appeal to you or not. Like, I quite like those kind of period set dramas, and I like those romantic dramas and stuff like that. And I mean, it is a bit twee for what it is. So just to give you a rundown of the story, it's based on a true story, on the story of Robin Cavendish, who kind of had like this lovely idyllic life. He had a beautiful wife. He was expecting his first child when he suddenly contracted polio, which paralyzes him from the neck down. Initially, he's depressed. He just doesn't want to go on with life, has a very low life expectancy, but he decides to kind of push forward and to work to make not only his life better, but also for other people who are disabled better. So he essentially becomes like the kind of proponent for the wheelchair, and that's what this film is.
There's a movie that came out a couple of years ago that this sounds really similar to. What's his name? Sorry, the famous physicist. I'm having a complete brain fart.
The Theory of Everything.
Theory of Everything.
Yeah. It's a bit like that, but maybe not as kind of.
It's been marketed very similarly, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. With kind of, you know, Andrew Garfield. You know, as.
He's kind of really rooting for those very prestige films, isn't he, Garfield? Or
It's
Andy Serkis, is it?
Andy Serkis directed it.
Directorial debut,
It's an odd choice for him, isn't it? Like, what, is there anything in it that would kind of suggest... Because I haven't seen it, like, would it suggest that he'd be like, oh yeah, he could talk, like, is there a lot of, like, I don't know, motion capture in it or something like that? Or?
No, nothing like that. I think it was just, well, it's based on a true story, and Robin's real life son Jonathan actually produced it, and I think that it was just basically a true story that he found kind of really touching and everything that he wanted to make for his first
story,
film.
and you don't diminish the reality of the story, but then there's so many of these type of worthy biopics that are made. Does this one stand out at all?
It doesn't really stand out. Like, it's definitely a nice, enjoyable watch, and it's touching and it's sweet. It's a bit kind of twee, a bit cheesy at parts, and it's like, it's a tearjerker. You know, like it does kind of tick all the boxes. Does it stand out from a lot of them? Not really. And I feel like maybe just Andy Serkis wanted to do a drama for like his first movie, just to kind of be a bit safe. He also has the Jungle Book.
That's obviously a big budget and everything else.
Yeah, and that's going to take a while because from what I've heard, like the special effects in it and everything are huge and very extensive. And I mean, now he's got like Disney's The Jungle Book to compete against as well. So it'll be an interesting one. I thought so. Yeah, there were some like really kind of beautiful shots in it and really nice kind of moments between the actors. Claire Foy is in this as well. She plays Robin's wife from The Crown, and she's just amazing. She's stunning in this.
She's going to be a superstar, I think.
I really do think so.
And the type of roles that she's getting offered now at the moment.
And she's replacing what's her face, Rooney Mara for The Girl with Dragon Tattoo. She's
the new one, the girl with the spider web.
Yeah, the girl in the spider's web. Yeah. So.
Okay, let's move on to a big one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Serena Bellissimo, who did an awesome interview, live interview at the premiere with the director as well. This is getting absolutely incredible reviews. Thor Ragnarok. All right, Brian.
I'm just saying, like, get it right.
All right, nerd.
Get it right.
All right, Brian. Wow me.
It is the funniest Marvel film, probably funnier than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Are you trying to get on the poster? Is that what you're doing right now?
No, I didn't even write the review for it.
Trying to get on the poster.
I wrote the review.
Trying to get on the poster though.
D wrote the
review. One of those, like, put me on the poster. I want to see my.
All right, my name's not Robbie Collin. All right.
He hates me. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, but yeah, no, it is.
Collin does not like me.
What I would say about it is that it is very heavily leaning into the comedy aspect of it. And to be honest with you,
that type of director, you would expect that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the guy that did Hunt for the Wilderpeople, who did What We Do in the Shadows, is primarily known for comedy. So to see him
do quirky, almost abstract comedy as well.
Yeah, almost Wes Anderson-y in a kind of weird kind of settings, but it really heavily leans into the comedy. And to be honest with you, that's actually not a bad thing, because if you go back and look at the first Thor film, it was directed by Kenneth Branagh, and he basically made it look like a Shakespeare drama. And then you had Alan Taylor, who was known for Game of Thrones, really, and kind of that kind of stuff, and tried to make it into. Did you do Terminator
Genesis then as well? Yeah.
And he was more known for sort of like, okay, we're going to make this into like Game of Thrones now, and there's going to be action in it. So they've had two goes, and neither of those two films are particularly good. So now the third one, they've kind of like, right, okay, we completely understand space Vikings. This is totally ridiculous. Anthony Hopkins with, the one eye patch, that's just stupid. They've just fully leaned into it and fully accepted that this film is basically completely nuts. And it's like, right, let's actually make fun of its own sense. Like, I mean, getting Jeff Goldblum in there to play the Grand Master, and he's basically like this glorified game show host. That's just incredible. Like, that's just really inspired. Like, so it works on every level, I think.
What about you, Dee? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really liked it. You know what? It just made me feel like a kid again. It just like was so.
The Hulk stuff was amazing.
Yeah, it was just so unapologetically in like just being fun and funny and silly. It was really quite silly. Yeah. So it kind of, what I really loved about it was, and I mentioned this in my review, I've really gotten so sick of superhero movies. I mean, for me, I know you liked Doctor Strange last year, but for me, when I saw it, I was like, God, this formula is just getting so worn out. Like, I'm really
the visuals helped Doctor Strange.
I know, but like there was no appeal, no charm to it. But with this film, it was just like, let's go back to basics. Let's just make this fun. Let's make it about like the characters' interactions with one another. And there's so much banter. Like, you know what it's like? It's like watching your friends just rip it out of one another throughout the movie. And it's so much fun.
Would you see Marvel going in a different kind of direction now? Because Guardians was the first one to touch on that kind of slightly abstract comedy with James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. How is this going to fit into the broader universe?
See, I don't know how many times it's going to work. Like, I can't see another Taika Waititi kind of angle on a movie work. There's only so many times. They're going to have to kind of keep on coming up with fresh ideas and bringing in directors like Taika, just going in totally different directions and seeing what can this director do with this,
I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look at the interview and then we'll come back and we'll keep talking about it.
One thing I wanted to ask you was about the dialogue and the improvisation involved in it, because that was, for me, one of the keys of this movie was the dialogue. We have a word here in Ireland, banter. There was a lot of banter.
There's a lot of banter.
Back and
We've
forth
got the
between
same
the
word.
characters.
Don't
Yes.
you guys try and claim the word banter. We've got it down in New Zealand too. You'll find the word banter is bandied around.
That's good.
A
I'm
lot
glad we
all
have
over
that
the
in
world.
common.
But yeah, and this is
Yeah.
some of my favourite things in this film are the displays of banter, especially between Thor and Banner. The Banner banter.
Yes, and the brother banter also.
And the brother banter, yeah. It's very, and so basically the approach was we use the script and it's more of a kind of suggestion of what we would like to do. If there's any pieces of vital information that we need to convey to the audience, make sure we hit those. But then you can kind of dance around that information as much as you want, and that's where you get just those scenes where you can tell that Chris and Mark are really listening to each other and waiting, and they don't know what the other one's going to say.
Yeah.
And I think audiences appreciate that because it feels like there's a bit more life on the screen.
He seems like a bit of a mad joke, Dick.
He was mad, and I loved it, every minute of it.
Serena was saying at the premiere, she asked a question or something, and he went down on the side on the seat in the lighthouse.
Oh yeah, he was full on lying on the floor.
Yeah, he looked
Full on lying on
literally.
the
Yeah,
floor.
he was literally answering all his questions, but lying on the floor, just refusing to get up, because I think he'd had a few too many drinks.
Sure, why not? You're
Sure, why
jet lagged
not?
and all that crack.
Oh, yeah.
You're on holidays, it's on somebody else's dime. Let's get locked, lads.
Totally.
Let's do a Q&A. Make some lols happen. Brian, him in terms of a director, do you think you see him doing another Thor movie, maybe another Marvel character?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so. No, I mean, I don't think that he, and as great and all as it was, and it really was great, but you could look at it and you would not necessarily think that it was like What We Do in the Shadows or like Thor Ragnarok or like Hunt for Wilder People. It wasn't. It didn't have enough of his stamp on it. It had his comedy stylings.
He's coming in and kind of refining stuff in the production's that big compared to shaping the entire thing.
Exactly.
So he's coming in and talking to the different departments and just trying to, I suppose, put as much of a footprint on it as he
Exactly,
can.
that's my point, yeah, and that's what I'm saying to you. I don't think he would be up for that. Having said that, though, he is apparently meant to be doing Akira, a live-action adaptation of Akira next, yeah. And he is the perfect choice for it, because you look at this, he clearly has a grip on special effects. He's able to use it quite smartly, and he's able to make it, different. He's able to take something that was set in stone, more or less, like Thor. Everyone thought he was this sort of Shakespearean character, and now he's just gone full circle.
Chris Hemsworth, and the thing is as well, you have to mention Chris Hemsworth in the lead role. He's very good at comedy.
Yes,
he was the best thing. Him and Kate McKinnon were the best thing. Well, not Kate McKinnon. I love her, which wasn't great in Ghostbusters, but he was considered to be one of the best things about Ghostbusters.
I loved him in Ghostbusters. I know everyone was like, "Oh, Ghostbusters sucked." It was not that bad, and he was gassing it. He was just kind of having the crack.
You couldn't say Ghostbusters sucked last year, though, could you? Even though it did, you just couldn't. You were like misogynist.
It was fine.
It was grand. It was. I gave it 3 stars. And was like, it's fine. It's not terrible. It's not great either. It's fine.
But it just goes into that whole universe, and we digress too much, but it goes into that whole, are you a sequel? Are you a remake? No. Why are the lads turning up? Anyway, we won't digress too much.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth as Thor. This seems like the Thor he was born to play, and to be able to use those comedy stylings.
Yeah, and Taika Waititi talked a lot about it, because I asked him in the interview who was it that surprised you enough, and he said the most, and he said it was Chris Hemsworth. That he'd known that he had done comedy before, but just that he was constantly coming up not with just lines, but just ideas for like scenes and everything. So yeah, he was great in it. Oh, and just briefly to get back to your point about Taika Waititi, I tend to agree with you, Brian, in that I don't know if I necessarily want to see him do another superhero movie, but definitely I think he's shown he can do blockbusters, and I just hope that he's given kind of free rein now, because he obviously knows what he's doing, because he's making great movies.
I think a lot of the time as well, it's coming in on budget, not been difficult for the studio to deal with, and all of that stuff as well, like kind of the boring stuff, I suppose, and he's proven here he can do it. There was no rumblings from the set around.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good crack. People are going to go and see this.
Yes.
What's out next week?
Every week.
Notorious is out next week.
Notorious
is out next week.
I saw that on Wednesday.
How was that?
I enjoyed it a lot, I enjoyed it a lot. We'll go into detail next week. We should have an interview with Conor McGregor next week as well.
Cool.
And the rest of the team.
Killing of Sacred Deer, obviously. Colin Farrell and Barry Keoghan and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
the
we
Orient
both
Express,
seen that one.
The prize you're giving away?
Yep, Murder on the Orient Express as well. That's it there as well. See, I did it.
Can you start writing this? Can you start writing this shit in your hand? Do you know what I mean? Like, or something. You can cheat. Like, it's not an exam.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you can have something in front of you that you can look down and go, oh.
Well, like, people are going to be like, we are literally a listings website. They can go on and check. Like, why do we need to tell them?
Yeah, log
You
off.
are the
watching,
movie's
log
editor.
Log off and check the
Log
website.
off watching the show. Yeah, stop watching and then go on to the listings.
Like, I'm not
And
doing
then
everything
people
for
find
you.
what's going on.
Okay?
What's going on.
I'm not going to do everything for these people, okay? Like, you know what I mean?
People.
All right, you're watching this, okay? You're getting enough, all right? You're getting a free review, okay? You're not paying anything for
He's going to
this.
get some
And
comments
an
there.
opportunity to enter our competition.
That's it. See if Dee brought it back. Dee's a likeable one. Dee's a likeable one. You're a pox.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, that's it for this week.
You're not bringing back Pox, by the way. I know you're trying to
I
bring
don't
back
want to bring
Pox.
back Pox. I want to bring back Pox Bottle. Pox
What?
Bottle. See, if you're D4, you wouldn't get it. My homies over the north side would get Pox Bottle. He's a bogger. He won't get it either. Apologies from anybody outside of the pale. Huge thanks to Charlotte Reed. And don't forget to enter the competition below. See you next week.